Hello class, this is Mr. Steigerwald. We are going to continue looking at the answers to the review packet for next week's exam. Turn to side 5 and we're going to look at letter D. We got to find the measure of angles 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Where do we start? Well, I see that in this triangle down here, we have 2 out of the 3 angle measures. We know that there's 180 degrees in a triangle, so we're going to take 180 minus 80 and minus 22, and we're going to end up with 78 degrees. Then I see with angle 4 and angle 5 that we have a linear pair. A linear pair, we know that if we add up both angles, it's going to equal to 180 degrees. So take 180 minus 78, and you're going to have 102. And that's right, I won't put the degrees on there. I'm going to look over here now with the angle 2. I see it's vertical from the 22 degrees, so I know that this is going to be 22 degrees for the measure of angle 2. I know that with angle 3 and the measure that it's adjacent to it, the 22 degrees, that's a linear pair. So I'm going to take 180 and subtract 22 from it, and I'll have 158 degrees. Now in this triangle over here, I'll highlight in blue, I know that there's 180 degrees in the triangle. I'm going to subtract 75 and 22 from 180 degrees, and that will give me 83 degrees. All right, let's go on to side number 6, and we got to finish number 4. Now number 4, we have 2 out of the 3 angle measures. So let's go ahead and calculate the third angle measure. And we see that with both triangles, they're both 108 degrees. We say, oh good, we know that angle L is congruent to angle V because they're both 108 degrees. But the angle J's and the U and the K, there's no other angle that is congruent to another angle. So with this problem right here, the triangles are not similar. Let's move on to the next side. The side number 7. Now when you do these problems here, the biggest thing is setting up your proportion. So with these here, we're going to solve for x, and they are telling us the triangles in each pair are similar. So to set up these problems here, we have to go by looks here. We know that this is, let me go with green here. We know that in the top triangle, that side CE is the smallest side, because 27 is smaller than 33. So I'll put an S by 27, and I'll put a B by 33. I look at the other triangle right below it, and you can't see this, but I'm measuring it with my pencil here, and I see that the 2x minus 19 is actually smaller than the side that has 11 on it. So I'm going to put a little S there and the B on the 11 side. So I know now that as I build my proportion, I want to put big over big equals small over small. That is 33 over 11 equals 27 over the 2x minus 19. Then I reduce the 33 over 11. I know it's 3 over 1. Then I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply to get 6x minus 57 equals 27. Make sure you distribute that 3 to both terms. And then just solve for your x like you're in algebra 1. Now you might not have reduced your 33 over 11 as 3 over 1, and that is okay. You will get the same answer as I did. With number 6, again, be careful on how you set up your proportion here. I'm going to put my S and big on this diagram here. On the top right triangle, I see that the smaller side is the 3x plus 21, and the 108 is bigger than that, so I'll put a B here. And of course, I know that 25 is less than 45, so I'll put an S on the 25 side and a B over here on the side with the 45. With this problem here, I went small over small. The 3x plus 21 over 25 equals big over big, the 108 over the 45. Remember, be consistent on how you set up your proportion. I'm going to go from the top triangle to the bottom triangle. On the left-hand side, I have small over small. On the right-hand side, I have big over big. When you cross multiply, make sure you distribute that 45 to both terms. And below here for number 7 and 8, oops, technical difficulty. All right, with number 7, your work will look like this. And your answer is 14. With number 8, make sure that you redraw your figures. Okay? Your one triangle, I'll draw the smaller triangle first. This is T, this is L, and this is U. And then the bigger triangle, M, L, N. This is 36, this is 27, and this is 21. Here we have 9, 2x minus 9, and they give us 12. Oh, so they gave us something, at least a number or expression, around each side. All right, so when we set up our sides here, I will go TL over ML, and that'll equal LU over LN. Go ahead and substitute, and your answer is going to be 8. All right, on side 8, you're using the Pythagorean theorem. As you know, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Let's go on the bottom here for number 5, 6, 7, and 8. And your work and your answers look like that. On side 9, you're using trigonometry. You're solving each triangle. We're going to round our answers to the nearest tenth. Get a little bit further down. You see the answers there. For number 5, we can find the measure of angle A very simply because we know that there's 180 degrees in a triangle with angle measures. So 180 minus 90 minus 55 will give us that the measure of angle A is 35 degrees. To find our side A and C, remember, we're going to circle the given information. First, we're going to circle the angle measure. We're going to draw an arrow to the opposite side and write OPP for opposite. We know the cross from the right angle is our hypotenuse. And then what's left over is the adjacent. That is always between what we circle and the 90 degrees. When we're trying to find, let's do A first. We know that A is adjacent and 5 is opposite. So we're going to use the tangent of 55 degrees equals opposite, which is 5, over A adjacent. Remember, use SOHCAHTOA. Go ahead and make this into a proportion so that we could go ahead and cross multiply, and we might have to divide. So we'll have A times the tangent of 55 degrees is A times tangent of 55 degrees equals 1 times 5 is 5. We have to get A all by itself, so divide both sides by tangent of 55 degrees. This crosses out, so our A is going to equal 5 divided by tangent of 55 degrees. Go ahead and use your calculator, and you'll end up with 3.5 as your answer. To solve for our C, let's see, 5 is opposite, that's the given number, and our C is hypotenuse. Which one has opposite over hypotenuse? That would be sine. So we'll have sine of 55 degrees, this is for this problem over here, equals 5 over our variable C. Make it to a proportion so that we could cross multiply, and we might have to divide. C times sine of 55 degrees is C times sine of 55 degrees equals 1 times 5 is 5. We got to get C all by itself, so we got to divide both sides by sine of 55 degrees. That crosses out, so we know that our C equals 5 divided by sine of 55 degrees. Go ahead and put that into your calculator, and you'll end up getting 6.1. Now when we're doing number 6, to find our missing side, which is A, we're using the Pythagorean theorem. The A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Remember, your 12 is your hypotenuse. Let's go ahead and solve for the measure of angle A. We circle A, we draw our arrow to the side opposite and put opposite. We know that across from the 90 degrees is our hypotenuse, and what's left over is the adjacent side, and that's going to be between the right angle and what we circled. So we need to find out if we're going to use sine, cosine, or tangent, given that we have the adjacent side and the hypotenuse, and that's going to be cosine. So we're going to write cosine angle A is equal to adjacent 11 over our 12. Remember, this is where we circle our cosine. We're going to move it to the other side. It's going to cost $1. And our measure of angle A equals inverse cosine, looks like cosine to the -1, of 11 over 12. Put that in your calculator. Remember how to do it. Hit your second button, then your cosine, and inside the parentheses put 11 divided by 12, and make sure you close your parentheses. We have to erase our, what we put around the diagram. And let's solve for our angle B now. We circle it, draw an arrow to the opposite side, right opposite of the 90-degree angle, that's our hypotenuse. And of course what's left over is adjacent. We'll put that right there. Then we can see if it's sine, cosine, or tangent. We have opposite over hypotenuse, and we're going to use sine. Again, go ahead and put SOHCAHTOA somewhere on your piece of paper. So we will have sine of angle B equals 11 over 12. Let's go ahead and circle our sine. We're going to draw an arrow to put it to the other side. It's going to cost $1. So the measure of angle B is equal to the inverse sine, looks like sine to the -1, of 11 over 12. Go ahead and put that into your calculator, and you'll end up with 66.4 degrees for the measure of angle B. The measure of angle A, it was 23.6. And that concludes this video. Go ahead and click on the other video. Thank you. Bye.